it's kind of eh. No, we get the randomized sword, so might as well just not have a sword.
The most important part about the run is what Uncle tells you at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
First chest is a fighter shield. Nice. I like that the shield doesn't display in standard until you talk to Uncle.
Yeah.
It's the same with the sword. If they had gotten a sword in that first chest, they actually can't sling it until they get to Uncle. But if they get a sword from Uncle, it'll be a nice vanilla opening with fighter sword and shield.
Alright, which weapon do we get? Survey says the Cane of Samaria.
I like it. What's your opinion on the cane start?
Yeah, the cane is very interesting. You gotta be pretty careful, of course, with your magic if you wanna... Like, just killing the gods is not a big deal, but if you wanna grind for some bombs, you can easily run out of magic if you just, you know, not careful enough, so... It will be interesting to see how they will deal with the fact, or if they actually go for farming bombs here and there.
It's definitely a little bit more lenient magic-wise than, say, the fire rod, but it's definitely stricter than something like an infinite weapon like a hammer or sword, or the bow, which just gives you so many arrows. I like that he used the pot there to try to farm for a bomb, trying not to run out of his own resource.
Yeah. See, Spiffers already trying to kill the guards here to check for some bombs. Misses a couple shots, has to be careful to not waste too much, but usually you can just take out every guard with just one block, so he's definitely still fine.
He shouldn't be close to running out until the sewers, and in the sewers there's a couple of magic pots, so hopefully
Yeah.
he'll be fine.
Yeah, the rat can sometimes be a little bit tricky, but shouldn't be that big of a problem. I think the rat is probably the most difficult to kill with the bow. That can be really, really painful sometimes.
I hate the bombs. I hate the bombs for every room in this game.
Ah, bombs are of course very tricky as well.
Myoky making his way down to the ball and chain guard here. Most players use the two-pot strat when they're given these semi-weakish weapons. I think he contemplated trying something else and then was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Zelda was ulting Ether.
Okay.
That could be a piece for everybody's favorite dungeon, since they already have the cane.
Yeah. I mean, with the cane at the start, the cane likes to be, you know, that kind of troll item that just never pops up, so it's good to see that you already have that marked off of your list. So with that medallion, it's pretty safe to assume that both TR and Misery Maya will be pendants.
Yeah. Once you have access to both of them, the game is like, hey, so there's no crystals here.
Can't wait for the ice rod in the next chest. Anyway, none of our runners have actually found bombs yet, so we'll see.
I feel like there's two schools of philosophy for the escape bomb search. There's the kill everything in sight, which a couple people do, and then there's the ignore everything until you get to the sewers.
Yeah.
Because there's just such a higher concentration of enemies in the sewers, so even if the first enemy doesn't drop it or whatever, then you cycle through the prize pack like way quicker. I've been torn on the two, like which I prefer. Definitely if one of the players here had waited for the sewers, they'd be at a good like 30-ish seconds ahead of the other one already. just from not killing so many things.
Yeah, I mean, we already see that Spiffers is taking his time to kill a lot of enemies on the way to just hope for bombs, whereas myoky actually does go for a straight approach and doesn't really kill too many enemies, if not even none.
I wonder if this is his normal strat or if he's just like fed up with trying to kill things with the cane.
Yeah, it could be both.
The cane is annoying because it's such a weak weapon. Like you have to hit everything more than once, except for the rats.
Yeah. Oh, Spiffers, gotta be a little bit careful here. Oh,
And Spiffers
paid
does get a
off.
bomb drop from a rope, as they're technically called.
Pays off, yeah.
Oh, he's very close to dying, so he needs to be careful. And he's also really low on magic, so you might want to pick up one of the pots in case he has an issue with the key rat.
Now, hopefully he does have... I don't know if he can... I think he can summon 2 more blocks with that magic, but... hopefully he gets the rat quickly.
Worst case scenario, yeah, he could just pick up the block.
Yeah, okay. Easy. Alright, now it's interesting to see if that will actually pay off his patience.
It looked like he was setting up one of those major glitches where you carry the block through
Yeah.
the door.
On accident. Alright, let's see.
Unfortunately, nothing too lucrative, so even though myoky will eventually have to go back for that, Spiffer is not getting a big lead with that bomb farm.
We'll see. I mean, 70 rupees is not too shabby, of course. Maybe he can buy the bottle vendor in Kakariko, whereas myoky might not be able to do that.
Swagnet, locked by Aghanim. Does not want anybody swagging him today.
Rip.
So myoky went for the tree pull bush crab route here. Finds a hammer in the Lost Woods for his trouble. That's nice. It's a nice consistent weapon now. Interesting that this seems to be like the route of choice in the tournament so far. Like I feel like this is the route a lot of people are defaulting to. Not many people seem to be doing Houlihan or skipping the lumberjacks anymore. Everyone wants to have that guaranteed information, just be on the safe side. So there we have Spiffers double checking his swag map.
So now myoky has a little bit of a problem because he does not have any bombs, but he also does not have enough money to buy bombs. So he actually has to go into the Thieves' Hut without any bombs. Thus he has to eventually, at some point, go back here to bump open that wall.
Well, let's see if he gets bailed out by one of these shots.
Unless he finds bombs here, yeah.
The glove and the hook shot, that's nice. But no bombs, unfortunately, so... That's a never lucky moment. If he had gotten bombs, it would have been never punished. But since he didn't get bombs, it's never lucky.
Yeah, I assume he just, now that he has enough money to buy bombs, he's just gonna go straight to the shop and then buy some. So we see Spiffer's patience paying a little bit off, because he does not have to take the detour. Unless he just goes super risky and tries to, okay, never mind. Getting corrected. Now we know that he will definitely not find bombs here, so he will also have to go back here.
The question is, will he also check the well before going down to buy the bombs? I know, believe Myoky has in his bio that this is his first tournament. So that's interesting to note that in this same situation in like open mode, players might have just taken the south route to Kakariko and like just farmed the bomb and then done it that way to, especially in Spiffer situation where he had the rupees to buy bombs. Interesting to note that maybe they just don't have that experience to make those type of decisions. Just and of course the bombs are behind the bomb wall.
Bombs are bomb locked. Love it.
And the fire rod. Lots of nice weapons and progression and
it's a pretty good start already.
Players are a moon pearl away from Dark World access. A sword and a moon pearl from
Let's see what they missed in the Thieves' Hut. Both players will also have enough money to pay the bottle vendor. Oh, definitely not enough money now.
Myoky going to head south and check the race game. Not going to skip any locations. Just being nice and thorough even with the situation that he started in. Spiffer's actually wasted 3 bombs before coming to this wall, so he's actually not gonna overflow at all.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Worked out perfectly.
The race game is just the blue rupee.
So it's kind of interesting because just by the logic, all the items that they found actually didn't really progress them yet.
Yeah, I think they have Zora open. Is the only additional thing that they did that was not in the first sphere.
Exactly. Once they get like I mean, obviously they could still go up Death Mountain and do it just in the dark. Although that can be a little bit tricky without a sword. But with the boomerang you have some kind of orientation. But I would not be surprised if we're probably gonna find either the lamp or the moon pearl very soon.
The lamp giving access to all of Death Mountain, and the moon pearl giving access to all of Dark World. So those are definitely 2 very huge items right now. Could also be the flute as well.
Oh yeah, the flute as well, yeah.
Spiffer's gonna realize that he bombed that wall for no reason, and gonna go ahead and jump off the ledge. Is like, I don't even want to be on the same plane as you, you stupid rupee.
Alright, with the hookshot taking care of the mini molums very effectively, although it can be a little bit tricky to hit them. As you can, oh my god.
Yeah, nice game knowledge there to use a weapon that one-shots them and is doesn't waste ammo. The book.
Ooh, the book?
Okay, so that unlocks a couple things.
Actually, with the fire rod, they could I mean, maybe they could complete it.
Yeah, if there is no key on the torch in Desert is completely beatable at the moment.
Interesting. I don't think we have seen a single map check yet, did we?
No, neither player has map checked.
I was like,
I was gonna ask you how you feel about that. I feel like nobody map checks anymore.
I mean, up until this point, I can kind of understand. There's no real reason. I still like to do it at the start just so I can, you know.
Yeah, I remember in the last year's spring tournament that players would like come out of Uncle's house and immediately map. And like now it's like, a map, who needs that? I'm not going to any dungeons. Fairy is the stun drop. Alright. That should be helpful for our runners.
That's nice to know.
Just the bomb capacity. Not enough rupees to check Zora, so myoky opting to just go ahead and save and quit. Go back and check that escape stuff that he missed from not getting a bomb drop.
Yeah.
So right now the players have Sahasrahala, Eastern Palace, Aena's Cave, Zora, and Desert Palace in the logic. Let's see what they choose here. I saw Red Pendant at Eastern and Crystal at Desert.
Yeah.
Did not get to see Hera.
I actually saw the same, yeah.
Hera was a pendant, it seems, from our tracker. So no green pendant in Light World, but two
Desert
pendants.
Palace being a crystal, you say, huh? Sneaky game, sneaky. I would not be surprised if we see a Desert Palace play here. I think myoky is actually going for it.
Gotta be careful with those crabs. One of the few enemies in Light World to do 2 damage. Might be the only actually in Light World overworld. I can't think of anything else in the overworld.
Yeah, I want to say so. In the Light World, definitely.
Spiffers looks like he might be considering a Fig Flippers play. Changed his mind though.
Probably realizing that he, 1, does not have enough money, and 2, he does not have the Moon Pearl. Making the Fake Flipper glitch a little bit unattractive at that point.
A little fun fact that I'm sure you know, but maybe other people don't, is that the Titan's mitts in Agina's cave.
That actually doesn't change
That
anything.
doesn't open anything. Yeah. I was gonna say the cave, the rock right in front of Ice Rod Cave is actually a rupee farm cave that has 20 rupees in it. So he could have entered that cave twice and gotten to 500 rupees if he was adamant about going to Zora.
Now,
And
here's the thing.
Pearl on Desert Ledge.
Alright. I was just about to say, if Spiffers finds the Moon Pearl here, it could be in trouble with maybe not finding the Titan's mitts, but I guess he will eventually go to the Desert.
Sword is the Sahasrahala's hut. Are you a fan of talking to Sahasrahala to ask him where the green pendant is? Or not really?
Not really. I don't know, it's... at that point, in my opinion, you rarely can get any more valuable information out of this. We're gonna do a map check anyway in Dark World, but I mean, it's not that big of a time loss, so some people go for it. I typically don't do it.
I think I generally go for it if I have like Ice Rod or Flute or something that may be considered an optional item. And then I just want to know, like, do I actually need this Ice Rod for later? Or should I be mentally preparing myself for this Trinex pendant Trinex troll?
It depends, yeah.
I like to mentally prepare myself ahead of time.
Also, it is noteworthy that Desert Palace is boots locked. So, found the cape in the only accessible chest right now. Which means he will have to go back here. But myoky, with that Moon Pearl, gets full Dark World access, having both the Titan's mitts and the hammer.
Ooh, he's gonna go for the key steal.
I wanna say that can potentially soft lock.
No, I can't. The
Actually, I didn't check which key was on the torch.
Even if it's like the small key and he gets the big key, the boots will still be available before he'll have to beat the dungeon.
That's true, yeah.
This is a risky play though because he already has one item from Desert Palace, so he's gambling that Land Molas does not have the second item. Which you might be like, that's not that bad of a gamble, but there's 3 dungeon items left. Spiffer's making his way through Eastern Palace. I like. Just get out of the way, you know. A lot of people will avoid it, especially if they find Dark World access. So, you know, if you find boots or a flute or something crazy like that, you know, you can get a really big lead.
So let's see where myoky actually probably is gonna check Hype Cave immediately, getting his Dark World access here.
I love this play. I'm a huge advocate of this play.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Whenever I see people get Dark World access and go to Kakariko first, I get so upset with them. It's like, you could take 30 seconds of your day and open 5 chests, even if you save and quit out of Hype Cave, and then go back. That's just better than...
Spiffer's finding absolutely nothing in Eastern, so he's gonna have to make his way back to Desert. Only advantage he got is that he got the sword from
Silver powder and a red potion. So Hype Cave was safety cave today. That's some good. That's some nice find, especially when you're still lacking a sword. You know, you wanna have those extra safeties like the powder to be able to refresh yourself. But he does know that the stun drop is fairies as well, so I guess powder is not as valuable in this seed. Ooh, down to 1 heart though, so I want to be a little careful.
It's gonna be interesting to see though, because since Eastern is a pendant dungeon, myoky might actually not really visit Salestra's hut very soon. So he might miss out on a sword for a long time.
Yeah, he'd have to like potentially find a mirror and then like want to do pod.
Yeah. To
kind of be lured. He has so many options available to him, especially like if he sequence breaks Death Mountain, he has like 30 chests up there or something. It's ludicrous. Okay, Spiffer's luckily checking Agina's Cave before doing Desert Palace. There's a lot of people that they go into Desert first under the assumption that they're going to jump off the ledge and get Agina's Cave after. But then if they find some like big progression in Desert, in which case it would be the Moon Pearl, they just like save and quit immediately.
Yeah.
And then they forget. I've seen that happen to even like the best runners like ACMLM and TGH. So it's nice that he didn't miss that, because he wouldn't technically be blocked from going anywhere right now. So he would still be able to continue. I think Mire was green.
Mire was green, and I think Swamp and Pod were crystals 5 and 6. Yep.
So this could be potentially a flute in GT seed.
Now it's very interesting to see if myoky opts to go into Thieves Town. The thing is, they do know that that Desert is boots locked, and having that knowledge, he might actually decide to not go into Thieves Town despite being able to fully clear it with a hammer. And with the Fire Rod, they can actually no, he can't, because myoky actually does not have a sword, so he cannot complete Skull Woods. Because you do need a sword to cut the vines at the end.
I think it's important to note that the boots aren't actually locking anything in Desert besides the crystal itself. So they could potentially just be the last item you find in the seed.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's definitely a gamble that the players have to consider when they are thinking about, you know, should I be looking hard for these boots and putting stuff off, or...
And they could also be in Thieves Town, who knows? Okay, making the play into Thieves Town.
Will be an interesting blind fight if he doesn't find the sword in here. We'll see how it goes for him. Spiffer
that's
is
another
doing
thing.
my least favorite play, going straight to Village of Outcast. You actually can't hookshot that pop because there's an anti-fairy under it. But fun fact, you can hookshot it from the left if you're coming back. Just can't hookshot it from the top. I guess the anti-fairy hitbox like overlaps on the top, but not on the side.
I was about to say maybe that play, you know, makes sense if Spiffers decides to go into Skullwoods immediately. But looks like he's opting to also check the East Town or Village of Outcasts first.
Yeah, when you have the Titans mitts, it's so hard to fight the urge to just go down and pick up the rock. Like usually, like that's the big deterrent. That's what makes people go to Skullwoods, that they have to go around through all the bushes. So they're like, you know what? Instead of wasting all this time, I'd have to do this anyway. You know, Spiffer doesn't have the safeties that myoky has, so he might be a little reluctant to try one of those harder boss fights like Mothula.
Yeah.
Like, blind can be hard in his own sense, but I think a lot of the players in this tournament have been at least paying attention to. I think it was on... He stunned it, didn't he?
Oh, it was a stun lock, right, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of players have kind of adjusted to the way blind at least starts the fight, even if they don't know the whole script. So they're a little less scared of fighting blind.
Yeah. Still going to be a sketchy fight for myoky. He does have a red potion though, whereas Spiffers does have a sword, but he does not have a potion. So both players with different advantages.
Nice heart container. myoky has a decent health pool as well to go with that red potion, so hopefully this isn't too difficult for him. Spiffer's picking up his second of the boomerang pair.
Yeah, so far nothing really worthwhile in Thieves Town.
Just to answer a quick question in the chat, blind does 2 hearts of damage on contact with green mail, 1 heart with blue mail, and half a heart with red mail. And the fireball always does 1 damage.
Yeah, the problem with the hammer is that the hammer being or having a very, very wonky hitbox, it is sometimes very difficult to hit it without getting actually in contact with blind itself, so gonna see how
I think in myoky's situation I would probably use
the cane.
Use the cane, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well.
I just call him myoky, which is a League of Legends champion. It's myoky. Played too many games, get things jumbled up.
So blind still has an item. And he indeed does decide to go for the red cane. Getting trolled by that laser.
I'm gonna switch it up and go for the hammer here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, like you said, that hammer hitbox is very difficult sometimes.
Especially at the top.
He still has a whole another phase to go.
Yeah, this could be bad. Okay, this is... officially very bad.
Ouch.
Oh, that's a very costly death. That is a very costly death. I don't know if he wants to go back here. I don't think, yeah. So the problem is if you die at blinds and you want to refight him, he is immediately going to start in the top middle. So you don't get the advantage of getting some free hits at the start of the fight. And especially without a sword, this is almost impossible to deal with.
Yeah,
having to refight.
it's so taxing that just for like comparison, like even in the no major glitches category of the game where runners are experienced with blind and do them all the time, if a runner dies at blind, they generally just reset the run because it's so hard to just get through there and not waste just a bucket load of time. So yeah, I totally understand that. On the bright side, whenever he does find the sword, he already has the cape, so that will make the refight easier. Like he'll just be able to cape up to blind and just beat him up.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to really worry too much.
Spiffers should not have a problem with blind here.
Well, doesn't get the script at the start, so.
Hopefully he does remember that he does have the cape. Please remember you have the cape. Spiffers, you got the... Oh! Yep.
OMG.
Oh boy, okay, making it more complicated.
And the flute!
Oh, he gets
Oh
the
my-
flute! Oh my, okay, that is absolutely disgusting. That is huge. That is absolutely huge, and that is a absolutely devastating item for Myoky here.
Okay, so we know for sure that the flute is not required for any crystals. So it could just logically be required to go to Death Mountain. But if there's anything in the Maya area, Myoky could be really behind at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the flute at least gives Spiffers a mobility advantage when he goes back into the light world. If anything else.
I do not like where Myoky is going right now. No. No, I don't. I mean, he might actually just check for the item here, but... Hopefully he remembers that he actually cannot fight Mothula right now.
Oh, nailed out! Never punished. Never punished. Oh man, that's so funny.
This game. Beautiful.
Will he go for it though after his adventure with blind just now and using his red potion?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. He might actually.
I was so concerned with Spiffer's blind fight that I didn't see if Myoky found a second item or not. So if Mothula has a second item, he might be more inclined to do it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason why you would go for Mothula right now if he does not have an item. This is still a pretty risky fight with just the Fighter Sword and a Green Mail. Especially if you get...
Unfortunately, it took 4 hearts of damage from the Cryptos there.
Yeah, he doesn't want to... this is bad. I feel really bad right now. He doesn't want to take any damage, you know, or waste any magic, but... Yeah, those were at least 10 rage slashes. Can totally feel.
This is one of those situations where, you know, you look back at your like pre-race races and you're like, maybe I should have did that Mothula with my hammer instead of my Master Sword, and then maybe I'd be a little bit more comfortable in this situation right here. It's important to... I know GamerCow, one of the moderators for the tournament, is like, before the tournament started, he was just practicing Hammer Mothula and Fighter Sword Mothula, like just like to be up to snuff with those type of situations, because those are the type of situations that you sometimes have to be ready for in Randomizer.
Spiffer's getting only a piece of heart from the Smith. It's interesting to see where he's gonna flute, either 1 or 6. Yeah, it's gonna be 6. Checking out Maya right away.
It's a nice quick 2 items.
Yeah,
Find out the
absolutely.
medallion. I like knowing the medallion of the pendant dungeon. Because if it's different from the crystal dungeon, I can kind of like feel safe if I don't find a medallion.
Yeah. We all want to see Ether here. It's Quack. Alright, myoky. I really hope that he doesn't have too many problems here.
The lamp is in Meyer, so lamp is flute locked. So logically, the flute is required. But
Oh, myoky, I'm sorry.
the hammer does 4 times the damage of level 1 sword because it does level 3 sword.
Yeah, hammer equals the tempered sword.
Each sword is double, so level 2 is 2, and then level 3 is 4. So for those of you that may be just joining us, in the light world, the players had the option of doing either Desert Palace or Eastern Palace, and Desert Palace had the Moon Pearl, but Sahasrahalas had a sword. So Spiffers chose the sword, myoky got the Moon Pearl, and as a result missed the first sword. So he's having a little bit more issues with the bosses in the Dark World. He has currently beaten Thieves Town, but died to Blind, and Blind had the flute. So he's a little bit. That's why you'll see that Spiffers has the flute in his tracker, and myoky doesn't, even though they both done Thieves Town. So Spiffers is gonna find. Let me see. Let me count them. It's a
lot. Yeah.
2, 7, 9, 10, 12, and then Dark World is 14, 16, 18 chests right now, not counting Spike Cave. Even though Spike Cave is technically in the logic because there's a bottle available to them. Just Spiffers doesn't have it.
Plus, you also have he can actually access. I don't know if you counted Hera with it.
Yeah, I did count Hera.
Oh, okay.
That's a lot of items that he's going to be able to find now with his flute.
Yeah, having the trifecta of Titan's Mids, Hookshot, and Hammer allows you to pretty much clear everything. myoky actually opting to go back to Blind. Interesting. Gonna see. I think he should be fine with that sword. He can actually get it.
Yeah, he's using those cape strats we were talking about. And he's gonna be very relieved to find his flute. He's like, "Oh, MG,
Absolutely.
Thank those guys that came back, you know, because if he had put that off any longer, that could have gotten really bad." So, like I said, he could sequence break to Death Mountain with the glove. It's just the mobility advantage that Spiffers would have had would have kept increasing the lead. So far, nothing on Valley on the mountain.
Spiffers also has the little advantage that he already took the frog home, whereas myoky did not do that. So if there is like a crucial item on the purple chest, that might be an item that Spiffers will get earlier than myoky. So we'll see. Super Troll would obviously be the mirror in there, but let's see. I'm pretty sure we're gonna find something in some parts of Death Mountain. It's gonna be interesting to see if Spiffers decides to actually do Hera, since it's a pendant, but it looks like it.
I mean, this wouldn't be the first time I saw 20 chests on Death Mountain let a player down.
He can also already check the tablet with the book. He cannot open the chest yet, but he can check it with the book. It's good knowledge always.
It's the ice rod!
Cena, that is very good knowledge.
Okay, so if for some reason, okay, he's not going to. I was gonna say, so for some reason, myoky went to Sasra Hollow's hut before going to Death Mountain, he would actually have the Master Sword, and if Turtle Rock was Ether, it would be completely beatable. But unfortunately, he's not gonna come across a sword here either. So myoky is missing a sword from Sasra Hollow's hut, and Spiffers is missing the sword from the back of Skull.
I mean, there could still be a sword in here. With that knowledge, like I was about to say, you know, maybe if TR is in fact Ether, he could decide to actually go in and check a couple chests, but with the knowledge that the ice rod is right there, he might decide to not go for it and wait for another sword.
Spiffers finally getting inside the tiles there.
Taking some damage, I think, for the death. Yeah, I definitely want the death warp.
This is an opportunity for myoky to get, you know, some time back on Spiffers. If myoky decides not to do Hera because it's a pendant, and there's nothing in here, then, you know, that's some time that he gets to make up.
Absolutely.
And he might be looking for gambles like that after taking a death to both Blind and Mothula, so.
Also gonna see if Spiffers decides to complete the dungeon if he finds a second item earlier than on Moldorm. I don't know, would you kill Moldorm here if you already got both items? Tough call.
It's hard. I personally wouldn't. It's a hard call to make, but the reason reason that would tip me into not doing it is the fact that Spiffers is already done Eastern and he didn't get the pendant. So if he was trying to play for the pedestal, he'd have to go completely do Eastern just for Armos.
Yeah, and he in fact decides to not kill Moldorm here, as he got both items. Unfortunately, he has to go back. Actually, he could, with the fire, he could hit the switch outside of the screen, but. So yeah, Tower of Hera not paying off. Gonna be interesting to see if myoky decides to do the same.
Is he thinking?
Thinking very hard about his next move.
For sure. I think he was debating if he wanted to spike cave or spiral cave.
Did you actually see the floating island? I don't think Spiffers checked these floating islands. There were the boots up there. I don't know if he did that before, but I don't think he checked that.
Well, they don't have the mirror, so
myoky.
He might have seen it, but and myoky is not having the greatest of time with these enemies.
Yeah. I think what also plays a factor here is it's just the fact that he already died a couple times before, and he must feel, you know, just very behind and just not good at all. It's also another skill for running these games that you just, you know, try. It's easier said than done, but to just leave the past mistakes behind and just, you know, concentrate on still making the best out of your upcoming plays.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's a skill in any competition of any kind, not just like Link to the Past.
Absolutely.
Not tilting is really important, and not buckling under the pressure. Because like we said at the beginning of this race, this is essentially their tournament lives here for both these players.
Yeah.
So, you know, every time you make one of those mistakes, you got to push those thoughts out of your head. Like, oh my God, I'm going to lose. Oh my God, you got to not think about that stuff. It's hard, like Jen just said. But... Okay, the death is actually making him bail out on Hera, which is good. He was heading west towards Hera.
I like myokai's play here because if it's Ether, he can immediately open it.
You know what that means though, right? He doesn't get to see Ether tablet.
That's unfortunately also correct, yeah. No, it's
It is Bombos. So...
Of course, Ether is a bust. Oh! Never mind. Quake! Okay, all of a sudden, Misery Mire becomes attractive. Being the green pendant, there's 3 items in there.
This seed is kind of insane right now. The players have access to Ace Palace, the Palace of Darkness, Skull Woods, Misery Mire, Eastern Palace, and like so much overworld.
But yeah, Ice Palace only if they decide to fake flipper, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I always forget to think in terms of logical things. I'm one of those players I always think like, what's the most chest I can get right now? I don't care about what's the intended requirement for it. So he's gonna see it's the one medallion he doesn't have.
Now Spiffers can actually fully complete Misery Mire. Having a fire source and the hook shot. I think he might be going for Spike Cave here. He's gonna hope to find a fairy in one of these. What's this here? Easy every time. How about another one? No.
Okay, it's gonna be close. Gonna have to make sure not to make any unnecessary movements with the cape. Oh, that might be too late. Okay, that was good. The cape has a slight delay, so if you try to activate it right before you die, actually...
That was unbelievably close. Okay.
Myoky gonna pick up his Master Sword here. So that'll be nice for him. Let's see where Spiffers heads to.
It might actually be a while. I don't know. Spiffers might actually decide to go into Skull Woods right now.
It's gonna be nice for him because he's gonna find his other sword. He will have to pick up the magic refill in the vanilla big key room though, otherwise he won't be able to open the back half. Hopefully he's aware there that magic is there.
Okay, making some use of his money to grab some potion refills. Now, I'm still unsure if Spiffers does know about the location of the boots. I want to say he did check it, but I just saw it on Myokai's stream. But Spiffers definitely knows where the ice rod is, and that is a pretty big advantage in this scenario. And if Myoky already decides that Tower of Hera is not worth a shot, he might actually not even be checking that tablet in a while.
Well, at least we know the mirror itself is not up there, right? So, you know, at some point he might be like, yo, I have Spike Cave and Ether Tablet. Like, that might incentivize him to go up there, like opposed to mirror. Hopefully that's not too far away. The mirror is probably the item that's left that unlocks the most things.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it would be in combination with the flippers to unlock the most immediately. So I guess Bombos unlocks the most right now. Nice mummy statue room from Spiffers. Unfortunately, not going to be rewarded with anything. So he's not going to pick up the magic refill here, and that might give him a little bit of issue in this room that myoky is in right now. Because, yeah, there's 4 magic pots total in the second half of Skull there.
I mean, he could decide to just take it very slowly and just kill the Gyptos and then maybe just light the torch with the lamp.
Oh, he does have the lamp now. Yeah, that's true. Still leaves him pretty low on fire rod shots for Montilla if he is not comfortable with the hammer.
I approve of this play to just take a death ward right there just to refill his health points.
Yeah, for sure. Because he doesn't know that he's about to get Master Sword. So
yeah.
That's he's going to be very relieved to see that for the Montilla fight. Myokai's in the Montilla fight right now, kind of getting bullied.
Ugh, that's rough.
He did buy a blue potion, I think.
Yeah. Making good use of his Mothra being in the top. One thing that is also important to realize for those that don't know, if you hit Mothula and he gets hit into like the corner or into the spikes, the damage actually does not just it just doesn't count. Like he does not actually get the damage. So you kind of want to keep him away from, especially the top spikes. That's usually where.
Has to use the blue potion,
right.
but does get it done. So myoky picking up his second crystal. Spiffer is not too far behind. And again, Spiffers has checked more things than myoky, but that'll only come into play if myoky decides to go check those things. Like, he doesn't have to go to Eastern Palace, and he doesn't have to go to Tower of Hera. The only thing Spiffers checked that myoky has to do is Ether Tablet. But Spiffers has to go back there anyway because he didn't have the Master Sword when he did it, so maybe that plays into it some as well. So this race is still pretty close.
Spiffers has to be very careful here. Only at 4 hearts, or with this 5 hearts with this pot.
Dropping into the Skullwood's big chest the intended way.
I think he wanted to get a fairy out of that Gypto with stunning him, but it doesn't realize that the Gypto has the small key. Yeah, there's no enemies anymore to stun, so he has to go in with 5 hearts.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that he killed the stunnable enemies with the pot. Just to further clarify what Junjo was explaining earlier. So the way the game is coded is that if you slash an enemy into spikes, regardless of your sword damage, they actually take gold sword damage. And what the developers did to prevent you from insta-killing Mothula was they made it so Mothula is immune to the gold sword. Randomizer eventually removed that restriction. Oh no, Spiffer's taking a death.
Does he have a fairy?
I don't believe so. They haven't been given any. And the Bugna is at 1.
That's very unfortunate. Yeah, Mothula taking victims here. Oh yeah, he definitely has to use the lamp here. I think he... Whoa! First, please. That should still be enough. Barely. Has to fight Mothula without any magic though. Having Having the fire rod is a good help of dealing with Mothula if it's very far away. So
Yeah, maybe with this much health, he'll feel comfortable going for a hammer shot.
yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Something like
And
so.
also, one fire rod shot is worth or equals 1 Master Sword damage slash.
Yeah, it takes 8 Master Sword slashes or fire rod shots. And then
Already getting
4
2
temper or
spins.
hammer. Yeah, that's good. He's halfway done already.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good approach to Mothula, just like just slow and steady. Make sure every slash counts.
Yeah.
Mothula kind of gets away from you when you just get antsy and just keep trying to hit him into the spikes like that, because he doesn't take any damage. Should be it here. Oh, so close.
Oh god. Yeah, there we go. Good stuff. Meanwhile, we'll see the hammer packs. I think just a big 20.
myoky did do the magic bat, and he's now catching up on the Smith sequence that Spiffers has already done. And this is where we see Spiffers' like theoretical lead like manifest itself a little bit. If myoky actually goes back and checks the stuff Spiffers has already checked. So logically speaking, where could our next progression be right now?
Obviously, Misery Mire. I would say so.
Trying to think if there's anything else even available.
I mean, it could also be in pod, I guess, if it's not bow-locked.
Yes. So it could be the non-bow-lock chests in pod, and Zora and Misery Mire.
Looks like myoky is deciding to go into Eastern Palace.
I'm surprised he's not even checking like the Mire Shed area at all, because he doesn't even have a lamp yet.
Yeah.
I think he might have not realized that he has access to that. You know, sometimes you get so caught up in like thinking about the logic and thinking about all these things that, like, you know, sometimes you just miss the straightforward play right in front of you.
Absolutely.
But Eastern, we already know, thanks to Spiffers, is a total bust.
Yeah, with that Eastern play, I think Spiffers has a somewhat comfortable lead. I mean, nothing is comfortable in a randomizer, but yeah. It's gonna waste a couple of minutes for myoky here.
So Spiffers is now missing the bow, the mirror, and the flippers.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it?
And bombos.
Oh, and bombos, yes.
Yeah, still a couple items away.
But these items can still be anywhere, really.
Yeah. Also, Spiffers has not checked the bottom route of the Dark World yet. He does not have the silvers, so he didn't even check the hype cave yet and everything down there. So Spiffers might actually, since he already did get the smith, he might take the purple chest with him here.
Not a bad play at all.
I'd still like the mirror and the purple chest.
It's my favorite place for it.
Yeah. That's true, we did not have Zora check yet.
And none of the flippers locations have been checked at all. Not Hobo,
Yeah.
not the waterfall, not Zora or the ledge. Which is interesting because, you know, a lot of people like to talk about the logic and the order of the items that you're and the way you're supposed to get it, but there's no guarantee that, you know, the next item could be flippers and pendant mire, and then you find bombos in the waterfall cave, and then you go to TR for your mirror, which would give you boots. But like you could skip the flippers part in the pendant dungeon, wind up doing that last, and go moding swamp. If you are able to, you know, check those locations ahead of time.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
a lot of players, they think about the logic and the order, but they don't think about the efficiency of the checks themselves. And it's a balance. It's definitely a balance. Sometimes you do sequence break like that, and you get a mushroom or a book or something, and you wind up running around the entire world for an item that you weren't even supposed to have. So you definitely got to think about all that stuff. Your racing randomizer.
Yeah, Spiffers taking the chest here on a little world tour. I'm sure he will be saving and quitting out once he's done with the hype cave. And myoky looks like he will be opting to go straight into pod. This could be a risky play. I mean, just for the fact that it all depends if pod is going to be bow locked or not.
Did he happen to buy another potion? I don't think he did. I think he has the same rupees. So
yeah.
I don't believe myoky has a potion. So if pod is bow locked, he can't check the whole thing. But there is a glitch that would allow him to check all of Palace of Darkness except for Helmasaur.
Yep.
Even though without the bow. Which could be worth, because Palace of Darkness is the crystal. Like, you will have to complete it eventually and find the big key. So maybe Spiffers will consider that before heading into Palace of Darkness.
So this is a very high risk, high reward play by myoky here. Maybe feeling that he is so far behind that he has to go for the risky plays here, so I can see it. All depends. If we find a small key here, it's not bow locked. That is very good news. Spiffers finding the mushroom in the purple chest. Probably going to turn that in immediately. Come on, shovel. One time, dealer. One time.
Digging tools for mushrooms. What kind of dealer is this?
Aw.
Only love. Oh, sand card. Or did he talk to her? He might have talked to her. I glanced away. Oh, Bombos is in pod!
Now that is a very, very interesting item. This could be a pretty big deal for myoky.
Oh, he's been
If the bow is locked in, if the bow is in TR, that is a huge advantage for him.
Okay, so now pod is bow locked.
Yeah, now it's bow locked. Interesting. And if I say interesting, I mean what the hell game. Spiffers checking the magic bat. We haven't seen that yet, so it could also be in there.
I think myoky did do it. He just didn't find anything, so we didn't mention it.
Oh, did he? Okay.
He did it right before he did the Smith sequence. It's a good point in chat. Neither of the players have checked the pyramid or catfish. Those are one of those locations that you feel so silly when you check the entire game and then go to the pyramid and find that one progression item that you've needed for half an hour. Because the item is visible in the overworld, so it feels like the item is just staring at you. So it's like,
yeah.
You're so silly.
It was right there all along.
Okay, but Spiffers is now making the Mire play, and we know that Turtle Rock is available, so this could be a bust.
It could be, yeah.
And would make the third pendant dungeon that Spiffers has done.
Exactly, that's what I was about to say. Like, Spiffers already dived into both of the pendant dungeons with no success, so actually he probably also feels really behind. I mean, it's a standard theme. If you play Randomizer, you always feel behind. But having done 2 pendant dungeons without any success surely is a bad thing.
Unfortunately, won't have beams for Meyer too.
This could be pretty big though.
So myoky actually doing exactly what we just said, checking the pyramid, not finding anything.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's on his way to catfish. He might have been waiting to couple Zora with catfish, but decided, you know, this mirror isn't coming anytime soon, so. Oh, but myoky doesn't know where the ice rod is.
Exactly.
So he might be really hesitant to go to Turtle Rock. Oh no!
Exactly, yeah.
For anyone just joining, the ice rod is an ether tablet. Spiffers checked it, but he didn't have the master sword at the time, and that's why he doesn't have it in his inventory. But myoky did not check it, so he doesn't know that it's up there. But he might choose to do ether and Hera before diving Turtle Rock if it goes up. Dude, that's not bad at all. I'll gladly take that any day of the week.
Oh yeah. Now, okay, he is in fact... Now, here's the big question. This is going to decide a big deal of this. Is he going to check Ethertel before he dives in? Oh, no, never mind. He's not doing it. Okay.
Meyer, maybe? Fake flippers.
Fake flippers. Yeah, I can see that as well. He wants to avoid a scenario where the flippers are in TR and then maybe the ice rod. In his mind, the ice rod could be locked behind the flippers here, so... So for those who have not seen Randomizer yet or don't know anything about those tricks, you see myoky is swimming right now, even though he does not have the flippers which you normally require to be able to swim. But there is a trick called fake flipper where if you jump down a ledge and you move, you get one pixel to move before the game acknowledges you not having the flippers. If you, with that one pixel, do a screen transition, you actually bypass that check and you can just swim normally, as if you would have the flippers. You just have to be careful to not get hit, otherwise you just soft lock the game in the normal game, or in this case you just die.
And then this is another glitch where, for some reason, exiting that cave into the overworld while swimming makes the game check for your Dark World access. I mean, like your Moon Pearl requirement for the Dark World. And so if you have the Moon Pearl, it puts you standing, but if you don't, it keeps you swimming. So he's able to walk on water because he has the Moon Pearl, even though he was swimming in the cave.
Yeah, unfortunately he got hit, so once you get hit, the game does the exact same check again. The game checks, okay, is he allowed to swim? Yeah. So once you get hit, and this is actually also the reason why you normally soft log if you get hit while swimming in the water. Because the game wants to send you back to where you jumped into the water, but since it's outside of the other screen, it doesn't know where to send you anymore, and that's why it soft logs. Alright, Zora, what you got? That's a pretty expensive piece of heart. Spiffers found both items in Misery Mire, deciding to still complete the dungeon for the green pendants. This time I think myoky actually goes for TR. And as already mentioned, the big deal breaker will be the question, will he check the ether tablets?
I'm so nervous for them.
I actually am. Like, if you were in myoky's shoes, would you actually check that? I mean,
I would check Ether and Hera because I don't have the mirror to check them after, and it would require me to climb the mountain a second time.
Yeah.
So you're either banking on finding the mirror or just committed to completely skipping them, which I don't necessarily agree with. But he definitely might still feel behind because of the early deaths. He has died 3 times, once to Blind, once to Modula, and once at the top of Death Mountain. So, you know, he might be in a gambling mood.
Yeah, exactly.
Hookshotting for the stun drop instead of doddering the anti-fairy. Conserving a little bit of that magic for the cape strats on Vitreous, I like it.
Looks like myoky will make the correct call here. Hopefully check the tablet first before going into Hera. Surely does. He will be very happy to find the ice rod there. And at this point, I'm trying to think what other locations we could actually check, but I think the answer has to lie in TR.
Yeah, I think they've done. Myoky not happy about finding that ice rod. Now to see if he goes into Hera, he might just skip it altogether. So this is good for Spiffers, because Spiffers has already done Hera, and we already know it's a bust.
Yeah, I think he's going into Hera because he does not have the mirror yet, so he can't go back up here.
He
This is a risky
might
play.
dip out once he realizes it's basement required.
Yeah, probably. You might see some amazing bomb strats from Spiffers. Not having the bow makes this fight actually a lot more difficult.
I'm surprised he didn't go for a cape and spins.
Yeah, I would have probably done the same.
Yeah, so he is leaving as soon as seeing that it's basement required. He's not about that life. He's like, I have so many chests in Turtle Rock. Oh no.
Oh, Spiffers. Yeah, he only has the green mail, so every hit that he takes from Vitreous does 4 hearts of damage. Oh my, okay, even checking the oh my god, I'm blanking the name.
Spiral Cave?
Spiral Cave, thank you.
Sorry, I was watching the Vitreous fight so intently that I wasn't noticing what Myoky was doing.
So again, Spiffers has to not take a single hit. If he takes 1 hit, he's dead. No! I jinxed it! I'm out! No, I'm out! No! No! I'm sorry!
Is he bailing? He's bailing on the green pendant.
So... Oh no.
So, unless Myoky decides to check Misery Mire down the line, I think he's decently in the lead at the moment now.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Spiffer still has to go to Pod to get his bombos.
The thing is, Myoky does not have the lamp. I don't know how well he can do these things in the dark room.
Turtle Rock 1 is definitely a little bit tricky if you don't have it memorized. Like, if you have it memorized, it's pretty straightforward. But if you don't have it memorized, if you need to like pull up a map or something, like one missed input. Because it's one of those things that you have to like preemptively hold inputs and then preemptively let go of them. Otherwise, you just like walk off the platform.
Yeah.
Like, fall off. But if you know it, it's pretty straightforward. So we'll see his proficiency. It's also then going to be a Master Sword Trinax. And Myoky has definitely had some issues with the bosses so far. But now he has Blue Mail, so maybe it'll be a little better.
So yeah, it's almost guaranteed that TR has something.
For those just joining, our players are missing the bow, the mirror, and the flippers. Spiffers is about to find Bombos, which is required for Turtle Rock. And Pegasus boots are on the floating island, which they need the mirror for. Other than that, the players have very similar crystal counts, very similar locations checked. Spiffers has just checked more pendant dungeons than Myoky. So Myoky is a little bit in the lead at the moment, but if he ever goes back to check Hera or Misery Mire, Spiffers can catch up really quickly.
Alright, Spiffers getting bombos here. And I'm sure he will immediately take his turn to Death Mountain.
Realizing there's no need to go to the left there. Just gonna drop down here. and most likely heading straight to Turtle Rock now.
Yeah. Especially because he does know where the ice rod is, so.
Hopefully he remembers to pick it up.
Oh yeah.
For changing his mind. Picking up some potions before heading up, that's smart.
That's not the worst idea. Rip the beep.
That was the fastest talk to the potion girl I've ever seen. That looked like a task. He was just zigzagging through the room and just talked to her without stopping. I like that myoky powdered the anti-fairies just to get them to stop running around. Surprised he didn't just fire around the Poke though.
You know what I just realized? Like, Spiffers went into every single one of the 3 pendant dungeons, but didn't complete a single one of them. Now just imagine if this is actually a pedestal seat. That would feel
that's gonna be a
terrible.
feels bad, man. If Bo is in Turtle Rock and it's a pedestal seed, that's just unfortunate. we're in for a long seed in that case.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also since I know that the chat is absolutely desiring the most trolly seed ever, how about like the bow or the flippers in Mimic Cave? That's also a good one.
So mirror, no, Bow and Turtle Rock, mirror on pedestal, flippers.
Okay. We just skipped 2 or 3 steps of being absolutely horrible.
What can I say? I have a gift.
I do always feel bad though if I have to go into Turtle Rock without the mirror. It's like, you know, just that feeling that there could be something there.
That's that old school video game feeling. Like people that grew up playing video games. You don't have to be like old. Like you could be like a teenager right now. But as long as you grew up playing video games, like you have this like inherent want to complete games. Like you want to kill every enemy. You want to check every corner. You want to like make sure you don't miss things.
Yeah.
Like statistically, like Mimic Cave is like a 4% chance of having progression or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's one of those things like, if you look at it logically, you shouldn't feel bad about it at all, but it's hard not to feel bad if you've been playing video games for a while.
Yeah. Another note, myoky found half magic in the...
That's gonna be really nice for Trinex.
Absolutely.
It actually, I'm pretty sure it's in the logic for Trinex. It's either half magic or tempered sword. So he would have.
Here we go.
Since we've seen everything else except the green pendant, I think he would have had to have found one of the 2 in this dungeon.
Dark Room for myoky, let's see. If you got this memorized, then it's...
Nope, he went
nope,
up.
he missed it.
You gotta hold
Do
down.
it again. Nope, missed it
Still
again.
missing. Oh, and now he's on the wrong
completely
track.
missed it. Yep. That's not good. Now he's completely lost. Yeah, this can be really tricky. This could actually be the chance for Spiffers to catch up here.
Spiffers does have the lamp because he checked Mire Shed, so he will not have this issue at all when he gets to this point.
I don't know if myoky knows where he is right now.
Usually you could use the fire bars to kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
He just doesn't realize that he has to hold down by the top left fire bar.
Right, he's
Like,
at
he
the
has to
end.
hold down.
Let's start again. At this point, myoky must also realize that there has to be something, like, the lamp basically has to be in the Mire Shed, or in Mire. He's thinking really hard right now if he wants to take on this, but, I mean...
He might be just pulling up a map like in Google. That is not against the rules by any means. You can definitely use a map to help you navigate diagrams.
It's true. I think he missed it Yeah, he missed it again. Nope, that is not the place where you want to be. He actually runs the risk of dying here, which would be pretty bad. Speaking of dying, the Spiffers are also unintentional, right? I think it was.
Yeah, I think both players are death warped at the rolling pin run. He got it. Okay, now he has to just not die.
Yeah, here comes the... Okay, he's actually using the cape. Now he has to activate that from the start. Because he... using up
Very
a lot of
convenient that
magic
he
here.
found half magic then.
Yeah, but he does not have any more magic for the...
So careful with this Bulbasaur. Okay, he's good. I would
Here's
get
the
the safety
problem.
door.
Yeah, definitely to go right for the safety door. Death warp and then just go back.
What a
Right.
renegade.
Didn't even sweat. Oh. Now on another note, I think myoky, they already found 3 items in Turtle Rock, so there's only 2 remaining.
I was eating my breakfast and myoky almost made me choke the way he ran past that beetle.
Yeah, he does not have enough magic to go for all the... So he has to... Yeah, he's kind of...
Oh, there's tempered
So
sword. So
I mean,
both
that's
items
nice.
were available.
But that's no progression. So there's 1 item remaining. If it's not in... Oh my god. Does that mean that... Vitreous has the item? Like the green pendant? I'm trying to think.
It might be. Trying to think what else do they have access to. Yeah, I'm looking at
There
the
we go.
trackers. There's the bow. Okay, so that's the first part of the evil puzzle. Complete. Step 1. No, I'm sure there'll be more progression in Palace of Darkness. And
Man,
what is
bombos and
Myoky
pod
doing?
and bow. That's really, really painful.
Yeah, so you have to go to pod for the bow this run, which is one of those things that a lot of players are adverse to doing. But yeah, I was gonna say myoky has both powder and stun drop fairies from the Helmosaurs, so I don't know why he was like death warping so much to refill his health.
He realized that the last chest does not have anything. It does have the map or the compass. The other thing being on Trinex. And what's also gonna be really bad, once they actually do find the mirror, they have to go all the way back up here to get the boots. And they don't have any business up here anymore. So that's also going to be a pretty big detour.
They're gonna feel really bad when the hobo has a mirror because they could have just fake flippered there from the start of the game.
Oh yeah, so that could be a good one.
myoky did fake flippers, but he did not check the hobo, so we know Waterfall and Zora don't have anything, but we don't know what the hobo has. We obviously don't know what Ice Palace has either, which is also available to them via fake flipper for like about 20 minutes into the run.
So a reminder, this seat is boots locked, so Desert Palace... They got both items out of Desert Palace, but...
Well, myoky did. One of the items
myoky
was boots
did,
locked,
yeah.
but myoky stole a key.
Yeah. It's an interesting turn of events, so myoky is in the lead right now. I wonder if he actually ever checks the Meyer shed. Or if he goes straight into pod right now.
He's gonna go ahead and do Spike Cave before he leaves the mountain. Not a bad play at all, especially now with half magic.
Absolutely. The blue male was on Catfish.
be interesting to see where he goes after Spike Cave. He has Mire, the rest of Palace of Darkness, and that's it. Like technically available.
I think in theory there will be one item remaining on Armos. I think they only got 2 items out of Eastern.
Swiffer's about to find his tempered. Not wanting to use his cape for Laser Bridge.
So he will finally be picking up his lamp. He's probably gonna... I would assume we will see at least 5 sword slashes after finding the lamp there. Because he could have gotten this earlier.
To see if he decides to go into Mire. He's not even looking at the pendant. He's like, I want nothing to do with that place. I mean, at the medallion. He's like, I don't care. I'm not checking. I don't want to know. Don't tell me.
No slashes? Come on. Disappointing, but fair. Man, we are seeing a lot of deaths here. Both unintentional and intentional. So yeah, I would assume that he goes straight for pot. I don't think there's any reason why he would go back into Eastern right now.
This has been a really rewarding seed for sequence breaking. Like, if you came into pod with a potion, unless this progression item is on Helmasaur himself, you know, you might have had a early mirror, early boots, or something like that, and you also would have been led to your bow that's required for the double bow. So the seed was definitely rewarding people for coming into pod with the intention of potion glitching, which is fresh in everyone's mind because it's such like a recently discovered glitch. Especially using the hammer instead of the tempered sword.
I think he doesn't realize that he picked up the tempered just now.
Spiffers might be a little frazzled from the deaths. That death to Vitreous can definitely rattle anyone.
Nope, definitely not realizing that he does have a tempered sword. I wonder if he... Yep, I mean now you have to see it, right? It's right there. Very nice fight by the first here. At least the end.
Myoky picking up a pair of keys. Spiffer's picking up his 3rd crystal.
And I'm sure we will see Spiffers go straight into pod right following Myoky here.
It's important to note that Swamp, like Fat Fairy is off the table completely because both the items are missing are required for Swamp.
Yep.
So there's no, it doesn't matter which crystal they're picking up, just they're getting their crystals.
Oh boy, Spiffers doing... Yeah, he's going back to Eastern.
He might be saying, you know what, I don't have the mirror. I want to do these 2 while I'm in the area, even though he's going to wind up fluting to the 5 portal regardless.
Yeah, they're the flippers in pod. So this is looking. I mean, he probably again he probably thinks that he's super far behind, so he's maybe making a super risky play.
Yeah, for sure. And the mirror.
Well,
That's go mode.
okay,
That's go mode.
And that's very, very bad news for Spiffers.
So yeah, sequence breaking pod and the seed would have given you mirror, flippers, bombos, and boots due to bow due to the boots and bow being locked. So now it's just a race to the end, and we know that there is nothing at green pendant and nothing on the pedestal.
Like, I'm pretty sure Spiffers only does this because he feels super behind right now.
Yeah,
which is a shame, really. He would have just gone straight into pod. He definitely would have a shot.
Yeah, tempered half magic on blue Mal. It's gonna be hard for myoky to die in any of the remaining dungeons. It's still possible, but it's more likely that he'll fall on like Moldor Morgana than it is that he'll die.
Yeah, at this point it's myoky's race to lose, really.
At least the seed is nice enough to let them go mode swamp and ice.
That's true. That's probably the two.
For as mean as it was.
Yeah, 2 dungeons you really like to see being able to clear in go mode. Oh boy. Add salt to injury. Getting the single arrow from Armos. Alright, myoky on his Helma sword fight.
Very nice phase 1 so far.
There we go. Taking out Helma sword with 2 spin slashes.
I suspect he'll go pick up the boots before doing the remainder of the dungeons.
Oh, absolutely. I hope he remembers that the boots are up there. Which I'm sure he does. But
yeah,
you have to
go mode the rest of the pod,
Yeah.
so I'm pretty sure he remembers.
They have to go up to Death Mountain to get the boots anyway. There's no way you can route that in to make it quicker. So definitely the first thing you should do is get the boots.
They have to come back down for Desert, you're right. They can't save it for like GT or something.
Yeah, that's exactly where he's going. Dead rocks are not nice today.
I know in the last tournament I had some personal issues with tilt. I may have quaked 3 or 4 dead rocks in my matches. Like across multiple rounds. Going up in Dark World, even though it's a little slower, I guess he no, he did check Super Bunny already. So just doesn't want to deal with dead rocks anymore, especially bootless. Actually, I'm curious to see if someone has timed it bootless, because I know with boots going in Light World is faster.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's an argument to be made for like hookshotting to these blocks and not having to deal with dead rocks and stuff.
It's pretty close, probably. Like, I don't think it's that much of a difference. Maybe. I don't know.
Spiffer's gonna check Vanilla Big Key first, Just gonna find out it's just a key. With no mirror, he's gonna have to take the scenic route back to the beginning. And there they are, the legendary item.
Yep.
Myoky now has all the items necessary to beat the game.
Always feels bad if boots are the last item you can find. Or that you actually find.
135 boots, not a big deal. Spiffer's finding his mirror. Excited about getting his boots in the very near future, I'm sure. Slowing himself down to pick up a bunch of rupees. Respect it. And Spiffers is now also in go mode.
Yeah, unfortunately he's probably, I want to say, like 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes behind.
Yeah, Death Mountain climb is about a minute and a half. And then Helmasaur fights another 2 minutes here from the door. That's with boots. Well, I guess no, it's not 2 minutes because there's no cutscene in Rando, so it's a minute 10. So I'm like picturing my NMG splits in my head.
Yeah.
How much time did I lose when I died at Helmasaur? Oh yeah.
Too much.
And Spiffers actually still has to get the big key in Desert Palace because he didn't borrow the key from the back. So he'll have to go to the right side and get the big key.
Myoky not having any luck with the silvers, trying to just go with the fire rod.
It's interesting to note that Myoky did not touch Hera or Misery Mire. So, well, I mean, he did touch Hera, he just didn't. Hera was basement locked, so he left. Whereas Spiffers did the whole dungeon, except for Moldor.
Yeah.
So, you know, skipping 2 dungeons and still having such a close race, like, Spiffers can't be too disappointed when he watches this back. You know, just a couple other decisions, and he could have definitely been a lot closer if nothing changes at this point. That big old ugly boss is finally down for Spiffers. He's gonna get his map, I believe, compass, whatever it was. And now Spiffers has to go up Death Mountain, get his boots, and then follow in Myoky's footsteps here of desert, swamp, and ice. In a way, dying to Vitreous was a little bit of a blessing because you didn't have to go turn in the green pendant.
I guess, yeah.
But it may have led him to do some other plays that he might have not done otherwise. That feeling when you spend an hour and a half without boots and you forget that you have them.
Yeah, I was about to say the same, yeah. It's like myoky just forgot that he actually has the boots now.
And I guarantee you both of these players feel behind. So there is no, you know, they don't know where the other runner is. myoky could still be really nervous. He could still, you know, buckle under the pressure. This isn't over by any means. Also, Ganon's tower, you know, just a slight difference in routing could save a runner almost 2 minutes. So we'll have to see what happens when they get there.
And with both tempered and silver arrows, there's absolutely no reason for myoky to check any more chests, really. Spiffer is finally picking up his boots, and then he will also be in full go mode.
The Hyrule Field theme is definitely like a victory theme. Like you don't even notice. It's like an exploring theme when you like first starting the game, but when you're like done and you're ready to just go beat up everybody, and you hear that fanfare, it's like it like pumps you up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm ready to kill things. Let's go. Puffball's giving myoky a little bit of trouble here. Just gonna go for a nice little double spin strat, nice and consistent. Spiffer's luckily is gonna find the big key in the very first chest, so he'll be able to mirror right away. Doesn't even have to kill the popos if he doesn't want to.
And if you do Swamp, it's very nice. You can just easily go right up to Ice Palace from here. I guess you could also Flute, yeah.
Gonna buy some potions, not taking any chances. He only has one bottle. What was the other one? Oh, her big chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, myoky is probably thinking to himself at this point, like, you know what? I'm behind. I don't need to squander any chances that I may have. You know, let me just be safe. Sometimes you get caught up in like not wanting, like, oh my god, I can't waste any seconds. I'm gonna,
Yeah.
like, I'm so far behind or whatever. But then you know you die, you waste 2 minutes or more, depending on where you die. So you know it's nice to have that presence of mind to get that blue potion.
Spiffer's also not going for the silver arrows. They don't like silver.
Well, I can tell from the UI that Spiffers is on SNES 9X, the input display, and that emulator is atrocious for the landmill fight. Speaking from experience, it is so hard to hit them with silvers, so I can totally understand that for that emulator. It's like playing underwater. The input lag is so bad. So especially if you don't have like a really strong PC. You might feel a little bit more confident if it was like on console, but I totally agree with the Fire Rod decision. important to note that even though Spiffers has more hearts, Myoky has blue now. So Myoky essentially has, 22 hearts, not 11. For everything that's not like constant damage like spikes and fireballs.
Yeah, let's see if we can get the bomb jump here. Perfect.
Very
Flawless.
nice bomb jump.
Oh,
he fell! Round 2, he's like, I gotta show it off again. Hold on. It was so smooth, I gotta do it again for you guys. You guys might have blinked and you missed it, so I'm gonna do it again.
That always feels very bad. There we go. Easy every time.
He almost stepped on the switch again. He was like, wait a minute. Spiffer's also doing the walk through swamp. You can dash, my guy. You can dash. Gonna just take out some frustration on these freezers. There's nothing in that chest that he could want except maybe a gold sword.
Maybe it's just muscle memory, He also cleared the first room in the Ice Palace. Finding the Butter Sword at this point is... I mean, it's a nice thing to have, but it doesn't really pay off that much.
I mean, I understand they can't get the bug net no matter what because it's locked behind lumberjacks. So there's no way to have a fairy for Ganon. So you might want to just like search for that red mail or that gold sword. But at the same time, if you don't know where your opponent is, every one of those chests that you check that they don't, because you know you're both go moding Ice Palace and you're both go moding Swamp. So every one of those chests that you check that they don't, is a chance for them to beat you. So you gotta be careful.
Uh-oh. Myoky, yeah, well, I was about to say.
He almost walked into with a delay.
Oh.
A lot of players forget that there's a slight delay before the cape activates.
Yeah.
So.
Man, making it more clutch than needed.
Oh, there's a mirror shield. Spiffers is like, I would have liked that on Laser Bridge. Stupid game. I believe that's 7 crystals, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So for those of you that may be wondering what's happening in the chat right now, there are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower, the final dungeon of the game. One of those, well, there's more than 22, but only 22 that can contain the big key. So right now, if you type in a number in chat and you guess correctly, and are also either subbed or have donated 250 bits in the past to Speed Gaming, you will have a chance to be entered on the leaderboards if you guess the correct number. So feel free to get your guesses in, guys. And 1 through 22 are the possible options. I just hope it's right side. I'm a super fan of Dark Magician route, so that's usually like somewhere in the late teens because of the route most people take. So I'm gonna go like 18. Any guesses, Chandra? Or are you holding your breath because Spiffers?
Yeah. I was really holding my breath. I was like clutching it out there. Probably also really nervous. I'm gonna go for number 13.
I would say with really good execution, Spiffers is about 3-ish minutes behind, assuming he doesn't open any chests in ice.
Yeah.
A tile room gamble, a right side gamble, a death, a fall, or a despawn from myoky. All these things could get Spiffers back in the game. Excuse me, back in the game. What is he picking up here?
I don't think he checked that earlier, so it was just...
Yeah, Ice Palace is a very, very scary dungeon.
Alright, into Ganon's Tower we go.
So it's not 1 or 2.
Do find a small key though, so we can... And he will check the right side first.
I like this play. This is the situation in the game where I'm always like, how is nobody done? Maybe it's tile room. Maybe I should gamble tile room.
Yep.
It's such a stressful situation to be in. Oh, I thought he was grabbed.
How did he not get grabbed there? Defying the laws of gravity.
Spiffers is actually also checking the chests in ice, so he's gonna be a little bit more than 3 minutes behind now. It's not 3, it's not 4, it's not 5, and not 6. So I assume Mark has been the key in the mirror. But he might, you know, go for that straight right side. Nope.
Taking the standard route, I guess.
He's doing what I call the completionist route. It's the I just want to make sure I don't miss any of the chests. If it's behind Ice Armos, so be it. But this is this route gets punished by the big key being behind Ice Armos, but it works pretty well if it's right side or right there. So that was what
8?
2, 6, 7, 8. Yes,
Yep.
chest number
That's
8.
number
is
8.
The winner. You know, and if Spiffers does Dark Magician route, he can gain a good like minute and change right there, just off of that. 'Cause it'll be the very first chest he checks. I'm always a huge advocate for Dark Magician route because that's the route I always use. I just think it's superior. Nice manipulation of the mimics there by holding the wall. Mimics 1 is down.
Spiffers also killing this. I mean, killing the freezers there's always... I can see it being muscle memory. And I guess if you pick up the big key there, you might as well just check it.
I'll never forget, like, Andy's 104 run, because I was in that race. And we all go moded ice, and Andy, like, Hail Married that chest and got silvers. Like, the clip is so funny if you go back and watch it, but it's just like, you know, stuff like that sticks out in people's minds and influences their decisions, like, down the line. So, you know, maybe these guys saw that clip or run, or just saw anyone, you know, get rewarded for checking that chest. Spiffer's not taking any chances. He's lighting these boys up.
Very good fight.
Oh, that Zazak walked back into the arrow. Very nice. Spiffers now has his 7 crystals. He will be making his way to Ganon's Tower. Myoky's in the last room of the gauntlet here. He's gonna powder this bunny beam, which is gonna mess up his Landmola spawns here a little bit, but a good trick to do is actually, if you decide to powder that beam, is to just wait in that room for like another 2-ish or 3-ish seconds, and then all the land moles will spawn simultaneously, and you could just spin all 3 of them at once. It still gets a nice quick 2 cycle, so not too bad. I'm kind of looking like he's a little bit more in his element now. He's playing a little cleaner, you know, getting all his stuff down. Maybe he's just one of those players that really likes boots. Like, I got boots now, I'm king of the world.
I mean, he did die a lot at the beginning, so I'm pretty sure nerfs are a big thing in that regard. No.
Yeah, but he's had so much time to dwell on it that he might just be like, you know what, if I lose, I lose, or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll kick in again like at Aga 2. But he might just be a little bit more relaxed right now, just going through the motions. And not even going to check that extra newest chest there on the right, so... Oh, okay, never mind. I take it back. He checked that chest.
Alright, let's see what Spiffers decides to do. Ooh, myoky having a little bit of trouble with Moldorm here. Oh. Oh. There we go.
Nice. Okay, so he's avoided. Okay, Spiffers is actually going to do the same route myoky did there, so he's not going to gain any time on him. That's unfortunate. Could have maybe made it a little closer.
Yeah. myoky,
I was going to say, has passed 2 of the like big time loss spots. He didn't despawn the tower at the torches, and he didn't fall on Moldorm. So now really only Ganon can stop him.
Yeah, at this point I think he has to fall more than once though for him to still get overtaken by Spiffers. See, he gets 2 on the first cycle. Yeah. He needs 6 hits on Aghanim right now.
Oh, that's always unfortunate when you hit him into the top wall, that it cancels his attack. These angles, my man has to go back and study some geometry.
Oh boy, that's pretty ruthless.
Or maybe it's just the nerves kicking in.
Yeah.
He gets it down. He still has a very comfortable lead, though he doesn't know it himself. That's what I was saying. This cutscene is the most nerve-wracking cutscene in a 1v1 race. When you're just sitting here waiting for this duck, you're just like,
yeah.
Please don't finish, please don't finish, please don't finish, please don't finish.
Yeah, you're just constantly eyeballing the race chat and just like, oh man, I mean, I messed up so badly. He must be finishing right now, right?
That cutscene is one of the reasons I understand why some people just close the chat until they're done.
Yeah.
Because of that cutscene specifically. I'm dancing on this Ganon right now.
Okay,
He
having
still
the
has
blue
his blue
mill.
potion.
Yeah, he has blue
Ice.
potion. Taking the safe cave strats here.
Spiffers is now entering the gauntlet, and myoky's starting his phase 3.
Really likes teleporting.
It is against the rules for the players to be in the speed gaming chat or in the other racers chat. They can be in their own chat if their chat is set to emote only. Getting his torch glitch. He does have silver arrows, so gotta be careful not to fall here. That's one hit.
Yeah.
This is gonna be two. He's gonna have to light again. Again, I'm not giving him friendly spawn, but he's just taking it slow and steady.
Ah, you should be fine.
Almost hugged him there, but yeah.
That's it. myoky finishing Ganon and finishing first with an official time of 2 hours, 1 minute and 2 seconds. GG to myoky. Meow, meow, meow.
I didn't even realize it was meow, like cat. 2 hours to saying his name. Didn't realize that. But yes, congratulations again to myoky.
Sure, you will be joining us.
Spiffers is finishing up his GT climb as we speak. Yeah, with this win, myoky goes to 2-2, and Spiffers goes to 1-3. Unless a 5-2 racer drops out of the bracket, none of the 4-3 racers can advance. So Spiffers can continue to play his tournament matches, but he will not have a chance to qualify for the bracket without a drop. We're in the 4th week of Swiss. There's 7 weeks. So 4 to 5-ish weeks from now, something like that should start.
Yeah, I think that might be like an extra week because of RPG limit break coming up, but yeah, we have 7 rounds in the Swiss stage. And we have a total of 128 people advancing to the bracket stage. Out of the 512 people in total.
Oh no, Spiffer's taking a fall.
Yeah, I mean at this point, you know, I don't know if he knows that he lost, but that usually should mean that the nerves shouldn't be kicking in that much anymore.
We are joined here by our race winner, myoky. Welcome, congratulations, and GG.
GG.
Oh, thank you. That was crazy.
An adventure worthy of a Zelda tale.
That was not a good seed.
Are you surprised you won?
Very surprised. I feel like I did really bad choices and didn't play very well. So,
surprisingly, your choices are what carried you through. You did have those few deaths at the start, but
yeah, I did really bad at the beginning with Mothula and Blind. I feel like I'm not exactly sure, but I feel like my choice to go to Turtle Rock is what paid off. I think.
So your opponent actually did every pendant dungeon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did Hera their first time on Death Mountain, and they did
Okay.
Mire before dipping Pod. So they did Mire before finding Bombos, and so they had to.
Okay.
And then they died on Vitreous, unfortunately. So they were killing Vitreous for the green pendant, and then died on Vitreous.
Okay.
Yeah,
Whoa.
so it was Bombos and Pod to get Bow and TR to get Mirror and Flippers and Pod. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, that. Like, what? Why? Why is that allowed? Why did they do that to me?
Also, one of your friends was mad at you in chat because they said they've been trying to get you to take a potion into Pod for the longest, and then you refuse.
Yeah, I've told myself I'm not going to do the potion glitch. So I feel like it'll screw me up, but I think this is probably the one time it would have helped. I probably could have come out of there in go mode, or almost go mode.
Yeah, we were also wondering when you would actually, check the Mire shed area to get the lamp. Like, you picked it up right after you needed it, I guess.
Yeah,
Did you feel like there could have been something there, or did you intend on checking that beforehand?
when I got the flute from Blind, I felt like I had to go there eventually, but I think I just got dragged along by other stuff. I don't know. I feel like, other than how awful I did in Turtle Rock, I can do most dark rooms, but it's not a big deal if I don't have the lamp, as long as I don't have to do Misery Mire. But yeah, I was upset. I was upset at a lot of things in this seed.
So was there any point in the seat where you decided to maybe do things differently because you felt behind? Or like did that have any effect on your routing choices?
I don't think I did anything that I wouldn't have done normally. I did definitely feel like I was way behind because I had died so many times early on. But I think I still did what I normally would have done. Maybe going into Turtle Rock. Once I got Bombos, might have been something I was gambling on, but once I got the Ice Rod right before I went in there, I was pretty sure that was where I needed to go.
Yeah, we were happy that you actually checked that because Spiffers did know that the Ice Rod was in there and you did not, and we were like, okay, if you were really gambling, you could just go into TR without checking that first. Luckily, you did.
Yeah. I tried to check it earlier, but I died on the way there. So. Yeah.
Just to quickly interject, after taking a quick death to Ganon, Spiffers is now actually done. As soon as he walks through the door here, and he finished with an official time of 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 22 seconds. So GG's to Spiffers as well.
Yeah, we're already joined by
welcome,
SpifferstheGrand.
I forget about stream delay. I was like, wow, that was fast.
It was.
Welcome, GG's.
Yep.
Congrats on finishing that monstrosity of the seed.
Well,
GG.
I was about to say that my Mire play sort of killed me. Well, unless myoky also did a Mire play, but
No, I didn't go in the Mire at all.
And we were explaining some of the differences between the routes for you guys there. myoky actually never finished Terra. So once he saw it was basement required, he just dipped out, and he never entered Mire. And he did finish Eastern. So you double dipped Eastern to finish Eastern. You did Mire, and you also got both items.
Eastern was also a mistake. Eastern was me going. Initially, I tracked Eastern as a crystal and Desert as a pendant.
Oh,
and then when
that's
I did
unfortunate.
So this is the thing. I knew it beforehand, but my mind was still in the state of Eastern's a crystal, and since it's got one item made of the mirror, yet it's faster to do Eastern first.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So not so much a gamble. It turned into a gamble that was, I got the single arrow. I got the arrow that kills Ganon. So
it's very important.
Very important.
How did you feel about the race throughout its course? Did you feel like you were behind? Did you feel like you were ahead?
I wasn't too familiar with myoky's strengths, so I wasn't quite sure because I knew that the couple of deaths that I took that were really bad. So the vitreous one was bad, although of course because I didn't go back to it, it didn't really matter. And the one Mothula fight, or the one Mothula death was a little annoying, but I'm like that being said, it was a little bit of a low percent seed, so I'm like, maybe he has the same deaths to me, maybe I'm right in it, maybe I'm a mile behind. I won't know until I see the done.
Initially, he had way more deaths than you. He died on Blind, he died on Mothula, and he died on Death Mountain.
Well, I clutched out Blind, frig.
But
the cape switch.
yeah, he actually didn't have a sword. So at the beginning, you did Eastern and he did Desert. So he got his Dark World access and then just went into Dark World.
Right.
Whereas you went into Dark World with a sword.
Yeah.
So that allowed you to use the cape on Blind. But after checking Skullwoods and getting a sword, he doubled back and used the cape on Blind and got his flute. So he didn't lose too much time. He just had to go back and finish it up there.
Also an interesting case of a seed where you didn't need the sword before going into the back of Skull Woods.
Yeah,
there was a
fortunate.
sword in Skull Woods.
Yeah.
That was my first sword. After I died the blind.
Good times.
I tried the hammer blind and I'm not very good at it.
I'm not good at either. I would have Samaria blind anyways, so I wouldn't have done hammer strats in the first place.
Oh, I tried the Samaria in too, but I failed that.
Heck, I think I showed off Samaria as well, because I was just getting panicky. I think I used Samaria, sword, and cape in that fight.
Yeah.
And you guys were really close to each other throughout most of the run. I want to say like within like a minute and a half apart from each other, always at the same time. You guys had very, very similar routes. I would say that the big game changer was myoky went to Pod when you went to Meyer.
Yeah.
So he got Bombos, and then did you ever consider Spiffers using the potion glitch to explore Pod, or is that not something that you choose or are not comfortable to do?
It wasn't something I would have done. There's two reasons for that. One is because I didn't have a potion anymore at that point. I only had a bee in a bottle. And the other is because of the fact that the bow was one of the only items that was really locking me out anymore, aside from the mirror. Because I guess the flippers were too, because we did have to do swamp, but I was less worried about the flippers and the mirror and more worried about the bow, and it was just I considered them less likely to be there. Also, I realized I forgot to check the pendant or the medallion on Turtle Rock the first time I went up Death Mountain. So once I got Bombos on Pod, I'm like, perfect, I can definitely full clear Turtle Rock. Let's go do that now.
Yeah, you were locked out until the Pod check. So you didn't lose any time there by not getting that check in.
Yeah, and of course I knew that was the third medallion, so no matter what it was, I was going to be fine.
It's a good call too, that the mirror and the flute, I mean the mirror and the flippers generally like unlock things together, or unlock a chunk of things together, so it's more likely to be the bow, because that unlocks all of Powers of Darkness.
Yeah.
So that's a good read on the logic there. But I find it funny that the potion glitch is like such a recent discovery. So I was talking to myoky about it right before you joined, but it's such a recent discovery that's like kind of fresh on everyone's mind. And this seed, it would have given you Bombos, Mirror, and Flippers, which would have given you Bow and Boots. So that's kind of crazy to see the power of a sequence break like that.
Yeah, but at the same time, then it gets you to go do potentially full clear of Swamp and/or Ice Palace instead of go moding them.
Yeah, that's very possible as well. So that's definitely something we discussed while we were coming. Any other thoughts from either of you, or any questions from Genja? I know I've been talking.
Fetch quest Hype Cave. I think it was Hype Cave that had all the fetch, wasn't it? It had my first bottle and it had the powder.
The powder, yeah.
And then I got the mushroom on the purple chest. So it happened to be that I really made it fetch quest moment.
Yeah, with that race, myoky, you go 2-2, so you still keep the chance of making it to the bracket stage. How do you feel comfortable about, or do you feel confident about still making it?
I need to practice more. This was the first race I've done since my last race, so I need to practice.
And I just get to take it casually now because it doesn't matter for me. Woohoo!
Yeah. Do you still plan on continuing the tournament until the end? It's still lots of fun, I think.
Well, of course. I came into the tournament pretty sure I'm gonna end up somewhere around I was pretty sure I'd end up somewhere around the 50% range, so I have to prove that I can get at least 3 wins. So we'll see. If I can split I don't need to split, do I? No, I need to win 1 more. I need to win 2 out of 3 to go at least relatively 500.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good luck to the both of you.
Yeah. GG, Spiffers, and thank you everyone for commentating. Thanks to the tracker. Thank you everybody.
Yeah, thank you for putting on a good race. With that being said, I think we can wrap it up. So best of luck to both of you in the upcoming tournament matches.
Yeah, if you like the content today, make sure you follow the links that our tracker just put in the chat. Make sure to follow all of the Speed Gamings. I believe there's 6 at the moment. Speed Gaming 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Just a numerical number at the end. But yeah, there'll be definitely plenty more randomizers throughout the day on all the Speed Gaming channels. So enjoy, guys, and have a good one.
Yeah. Have a great evening.